Remember when I said,
remote selfies are the best S Pen feature ever?
well, the new Samsung Note 10's S Pen not only acts as the shutter button for remote selfies, it also allows you to remotely control your camera. I'm in New York for Unpacked, where Samsung announced their newest phones, and I finally got my hands on the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 and Note 10 Plus. Yes, girls and boys, there are two phones this year. A bigger Note 10 Plus and the Note 10.
These phones are better for my tiny hands.
What I love most about this year's releases is that Samsung finally decided to be more fashion forward.
So many cute colors!
There is a pink one, which makes me extremely happy. There's a solid red option. And oh my god, if you can pick a color, there's also this rainbow variant that looks awesome, especially when it catches the light. There's also the typical black, white, and blue versions, but that's not so exciting to me. So if you're thinking which phone is which and which phone is actually better fit for you, well, the main differences between the two phones would be 1. Battery capacity. The bigger Note 10 Plus has 4,300 milliamp hours, while the smaller one has 3,500 milliamp hours. There's also an extra depth camera on the Note 10 Plus, and also there are different memory and storage variants for each type of Note, with the Plus version running on a whopping 12 gig of RAM. That just means that it's pretty much on gaming smartphone levels. Oh, also the smaller Note 10 does not have expandable SD card storage. And that's it for differences. Let's move on to the new and exciting things these phones have. The Note 10 Plus looks like a massive display on my hands. This is mostly because it's all screen, and get this, there's no notch. What they did put was a smaller punch hole camera. Yes, folks, I'm talking about a tiny dot here, which is basically where the camera's at. Of course, the Note's highlight would always be the S Pen. Last year's Note 9 brought a seamless remote selfie functions, and this year, Samsung's adding on to that. So the pen can actually control the cameras now via gestures, even from a distance. Check this out. That's awesome because that just means you have more control as you take those remote OOTDs or remote travel photos. Oh, and also there's S Pen AR, which is basically something that allows you to draw stuff in thin air. In true millennial untethered fashion, Samsung decided to remove the headphone jack from these phones. I mean, they are pushing for Galaxy Buds, so I'm not entirely surprised. Nevertheless, it's the end of an era. We're still seeing that reverse wireless charging, which allows you to charge Samsung devices just by leaving the devices on the phone, which in theory is an awesome thing, but as we saw with the S10, was a little fidgety when used in real life. Of course, so you always have juice, there's fast charging on this thing. The new Note phones has the same camera setup that we love from the S10. There is a wide-angled camera, a main shooter, and the telephoto lenses. Of course, as mentioned earlier, the Note 10 Plus has that extra depth camera. The selfie camera, despite becoming a smaller hole punch, maintains its 10 megapixel shooter. As to if the smaller hole will affect selfie quality is yet to be seen, but initial selfies look like this. Like I said, I love the cameras on the S10 phones. In fact, I used it for all-around vlogging, and I honestly believe that it has one of the best video capabilities on a smartphone right now. But Samsung's not done yet. On these phones, they've actually improved video stabilization and added an interesting audio record feature. There's what they call an audio zoom. And you know how you can zoom images? Basically, it's zooming audio so you can capture specific sound better. And should be promising for your vlogs. Oh, and your favorite portrait feature with a bokeh background? That comes to video too. And that's what's up with Samsung's Note 10 and Note 10 Plus. Of course, I'm excited to test these babies out and see how they fare in real life, but just by looking at them now, I am loving how pretty they are and all those colors. Right off the bat, I can tell you now that I'm super excited for the tinier Note 10 versions. Although there are compromises, I feel like it targets a different demographic altogether. Samsung's not just going for the power users or the spec hungry this time around. It's honestly so great for people like me who believe that phones should be a matching accessory. And well, initial reactions seem like the world agrees. The only thing that remains to be seen is if they work as good as they look.